All right, guys, we're going to try this one more time. It's hot out here, and I'm going to try to do something today that I've never done before on this scale. I've got all my live stream software brought outside. We're going to do a major unmasking test with all these metal detectors today. So I don't sell metal detectors. I don't make money off metal detectors. I don't care what you buy. I don't care what you use. But if you do want to buy something, this guy right here is the best in the business to deal with. He has the best return policy. If you call him and you've seen him on my video, just to show that I don't make money off metal detectors, don't even tell him that you've seen him on my video. Best guy to deal with in the business right there. So there is no selling metal detector motivation behind this. I'm going to be using metal detectors from Nokta, Minelab, XP, Garrett, White's, Tesoro, Fisher, and I'm going to just show you a major comparison here in a 3D iron unmasking testing scenario. The deal is it is done in the air. What does that do? Well, it removes the soil variables. There will be different results in mild to moderate to hot dirt, and we all can agree on that. But the air test unmasking that I'm going to show here is the best case scenario in removing the variable of the soil. And I can say this, if a metal detector will not pass it right here, it's definitely not going to pass it in the ground. So what are we going to do here? Let me show you my other cam. I've got a nail test set up, and it's just a basic setup with a mid to low conductor nickel, and we will switch out the low conductor nickel to a high conductor coin, maybe a penny or something like that. I might run in the house and get a quarter, and we will check it too. This is what I'm going to say. Multi-frequency has advantages, major advantages over single frequency, especially in this unmasking of mid to low conductors, because these multi-frequency machines, what's going on, Lance? How they got the live notification this time? Hey, good, dude. I'm just doing a big, long live stream here with a bunch of metal detectors. We're going to test them head to head. But the basis or demo or, what I'm trying to show here is that multi-frequency has a major unmasking advantage over single frequency metal detectors. And we could argue the versatility that you can use a multi-frequency detector in more scenarios, get greater results or better results with it on the beach, etc., etc. So in 2024, my question is why in the world would anybody want a single frequency metal detector? I'm fixing to show you something. And this is basically older single frequency tech versus newer tech. And, I know that somebody will crawl out of the woodwork, and I will have an F75 for you right there, Sparrow, real soon. In that video I saw with the F75 tested against the Equinox, that was quite disturbing, really it was, on how the Equinox operator really didn't have a clue of how to run that machine. But the premise of this, and let's get it laid out, the metal detectors are opened up with minimal discrimination. None of them are false. And I've tested all these metal detectors off camera over the last week. They're all opened up, and they're to the point where they'll discriminate iron, but they're not got a bunch of filters put in them so we can get an apples to apple result. So check this out. We're going to go down and we're going to pick up some metal detectors, and we're going to put them on this testing scenario here. Wonder what we should put first in the lineup. Hey, just for kicks, they're all wearing different size coils too. Let me show you guys what I got set up right here. So I've got different size coils on all the detectors. Look at that big old coil on the Manticore. We're going to do an unmasking test with the Manticore wearing that big 15-inch coil. The Technetics stock coil, the Nokta stock coil, Deus 2 11-inch coil, Garrett Apex or AT Max, that stock, whatever it is, 5x9, whatever that coil is that comes stock. We got the Whites wearing a 6x10, etc., etc. So you guys are going to get a good feel for what's going on right here. That little old test right there is going to show something very dramatic. I've been over it in, off camera, and it's going to be very telltale of how far tech has actually come in 2024 with the unmasking capabilities. And let me just go ahead and lay a couple of things out before we get into it. The F75, the T2, the Fisher machines, they're super fast. When you do same plane, they're super fast, but same plane nail testing does not tell the whole story. And one guy brought up a point that it was more common out in the ghost towns where he's at. But I will still say this, exact same plane nail testing, well, what if the nail is a 1/4 inch? What if the nail is a 1/2 inch? You know, a little bit of dust, blue here, and there's a little bit of variation. Well, there's a difference in how detectors perform once you start varying it even by little degrees. This nail is raised 1.5 inches above the non-ferrous target. So we're going to dive into it. What detector shall we test first? Well, that's a good question. Let's go with Ace Apex. How about that one? Let's just test that one first. I just looked over and looks like a good one to grab to me. Let's grab the Ace Apex. Let's see if I can get the mics fired up. This is going to be kind of hard, man. I'm trying to chew bubble gum and walk with this. I'm trying to run multiple mics, and it's going to be a pretty interesting deal here. Let's see here. Yeah. I got a 50mm zoom lens that's got me all messed up right there. We cut it on. We're going to run it in. Look at that. Look at that where this metal detector was out in the rain. It leaked. Oh my gosh. So you guys seen the beach video where the moisture was the other day? Look, the Garrett leaked. It was just raining. This is supposed to be a weatherproof metal detector, right? Well, it leaked in just rain. I didn't even notice that until then. It may not even operate correctly. We'll see. Let me crank this mic up. Let me make sure that this mic's working. Testing. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that blew your eardrums out, right? 0 mode. Open up as possible as it can be. What you guys think? Is it going to hit it? Let me make sure that we're not... Yeah, that's too loud on you guys. Let me cut that down some. Complete fail. What you guys think? Yep, complete fail on the Garrett Ace Apex. Oh, okay. So we'll just go through the Garrett line first. How about that? Let me see what we're gonna do here. Hold on, guys. This is kind of tough. Let's see here. We'll just go through the Garrett line first. Let me look at some of the comments right here because I'm trying to. It's tough, guys. So if I don't get to. Yes, he should have lowered the iron bias setting. It was a setup test for the Equinox to fail. You know, we're gonna remedy that, Lance. We're gonna show the F75 for what it is compared to these other detectors. Let me grab an AT Pro. So, like I said, these machines are opened up to be ran wide open. This is a stock coil on the AT Pro. I don't know if you guys can see it from that camera. 0 mode. 0 discrimination. Let me kick over to the other camera. And I'm going to run the max while I've got the camera switched over for time constraints because my cameras will die and I'm hoping that I get an hour out of them. But the big cameras that I'm shooting in 4K, they will run down on the batteries. They don't charge as they run. So that's a little bit of a problem. If they die, we'll switch over to the cell phone, whatever we got to do. AT Max, AT Pro. Uh-oh, let me switch out mics. Sorry about that, guys. Let me just hold this mic. Okay, we'll call that a complete fail. Let me grab the max. I think I'm just going to run through the old tech machines first. How about that? I believe that'll work really, really good. Here's the Garrett AT Max. Let me go over here and see if I can get you guys down on it. 0 mode, opened up, 0 discrimination. As open as the machine could be. All right, you guys see it, right? Pretty interesting, right? Huh. Let's see what else we got here. We got a Fisher F19. Let's get it out. you guys think about this? Oh, yeah, Garrett's the first on the chopping block. Let's look at the Fisher F19. Let's get it cut on. We'll cut the gain down just a little bit on it where we ain't got no interference. Gain is at 98. We got the threshold. Machine's opened up. The V-brake's at 39. I mean, it's open, zero discrimination. This is open as you can get, right? Let me put the mic on it. Oh, let me switch cameras. Let me get it back over here. Not a chance, right? And like I said, we will switch this out and get a high conductive target, and we'll put it in there. So we see that that's a fail for the Fisher on that test. Okay, what else do we got that's a single frequency metal detector here? Oh, we got the whites, man. Check this out, guys. I got a Closet Queen whites metal detector right here that I bought from a guy, and I appreciate you selling me this metal detector. It is nice, and it's going in the Calabash Digger Museum of metal detectors. You know, I'm going to start collecting the older metal detectors in good condition and basically put them in my metal detector museum. So let's look at the whites. Very, very easy machine to run here. MXT Pro. I mean, just very easy machine to run here. We got it in relic mode, which is the most open up mode. It's in two-tone. We got the disc set around, I think Southern said set it around a little bit 2, somewhere in there. So we got it right there at 2. The disc is set at 2. Machine's open up. We got a little bit of threshold hum. Very, very easy machine to use. Very, you know, I can say this about this machine. Back in the day, if you were metal detecting, this one was a very easy one to set up. Look at this, how good a shape this metal detector's in, man. I mean, for the age on this thing is mint. Guy told me it was mint, so let's check it out. You know, yeah, it's wearing a small DD coil. Check it out. Give me a second. Check it out on that penny. Let's get it over the test. So, will the Whites machine, legendary Whites MXT. Straight iron on the VDI scale. That's what a coin sounds like. VDI 17, 14. Machine is saying straight iron on the scale. So complete fail for the Whites unit right there. Low to mid conductor. Now, one thing that I don't know, and I know that will be closer, is when I switch out that high conductor. And one of the things that I did a live on last night was frequency. A guy was talking about the F75, and I said the reason that these multi-frequency detectors, the main reason is that they can run a higher frequency, and that higher frequency has an unmasking advantage on targets in iron, especially on mid to low conductors, okay? You cannot get there, and I'm not talking about processors and chips. I'm talking about frequency alone, and all that stuff plays a part in it, but you cannot, with these detectors laying on the ground here, you cannot get there because these single frequency metal detectors, because of the frequency alone. It is impossible for them in the unmasking scenarios overall to keep up with these multi-frequency metal detectors. Now, when I add a high frequency target in there, it could become closer. But at the end of the day, with the processors in these modern detectors, you're going to get 3D iron unmasking scenarios better out of these detectors. And I believe that with the higher weighted multi-frequencies, you're still going to come ahead on the high conductors too, but we'll show that too in just a little bit, and it probably will be a little bit closer. But in mid to low conductors, it ain't even close. You guys are fixing to see this. So where do we start here? How about we start with a kind of a little treat right here. Let's grab this man. Oh, well, wait a minute. Let's grab a Nokta machine that's a single frequency. This is a Simplex Ultra. Sorry, forgot to show this. Let me hook the mic up to it. What you guys think about this live stream? It don't like that EMI. And I will say this too. Those machines really do run good on this side of the house in the single frequency for EMI. But who cares when you can't see the target in the ground? So you can have quiet and not see the target in the ground, or you'll have a little bit of chirpiness out of these machines on this side of the house. But I'm going to tell you something, and somebody will have something to say, oh, those machines are that is not the norm. This yard, you guys know it from years of me testing here, is very, very high EMI, and this is not the norm on every site. So just keep that in mind. Let's kick back over here. Simplex Ultra, opened up. What? No way! No way! Now you see where that nail is, that coin is? I'm gonna move it just to make sure it's not the nail. And I'm gonna lay that coin back exactly on that rust spot. Oh my gosh! Do you guys see that? An inch? Did you just see that? Uh-oh. Well, wait a minute. Wait just a minute. Wait just a minute. Let's try something before we go that route. Let me try something. So, hold on. That right there. Now that surprised me. I did not know that. I did not know that was going to happen. I promise. I did not know that a Simplex Ultra was going to unmask better than the Fisher F19 on that test at all the Garrett machines. I did not know that. I promise. I did not have that set up, man. That is crazy. But it does give me something to think about here. Let's try something. Let's take the Deus 2. Let's try it with the Deus 2. Let's take the Deus 2 with 11-inch coil. That's crazy, right, Lance? I did not know that was going to happen, man. I promise you, I did not know that was going to happen. That is insane, dude. That is really, that really baffles me. But what we're going to do here is we're going to set the Deus 2 up as a single frequency metal detector. How about that? Let's go here. And it's going to raise a little bit of cane because of the multi here and the EMI. But we're going to put in mono and it should quiet down pretty good. And then we're going to go in with 17 kilohertz. But I'm going to show you the selectable frequencies and what I'm talking about on this mid to low conductor. You guys see that I have not tested this, right? This is just cutting it on. I have not tested this off camera. Let's say we got the scrim at 6.1. I'm going to my pitch tones because that is my silencers at 2. That's a little bit shut down. I mean, that's really shut down compared to the way that I have these other detectors. Let's try it, silencer 2. If it don't hit it, we'll lower it down because, like I said, we're opening these detectors up to where they're apples to apples. Let's check this out, guys. Let me kick this down. Deus mono. Maybe you guys can see it. I don't know if you can see it on the screen. Factory settings, pretty much right there, except pitch tones. Let's look at it. 17 kilohertz. Will it hit the nickel? I don't know if it will or not, but we're going to look at 40, and that's what I'm really concerned with. Okay, so 17 does. Let's take the nickel out just to make sure, and I'm going to lay it back. So it is the nickel. So the Deus 2 on that test, the Deus 2 on that test in single frequency is outperforming the other machines. Now you've seen that, right? That's single frequency. But let's go over, what do you guys think? Is 40 gonna light the nickel up better? Well, I think it will. Let's check it out and see. This is what I'm talking about, guys. There's a little bit of EMI. Let's look at the 40 kilohertz. You don't like it that way as good. There it goes. That could be an EMI issue too. Let's look right here. Seventeen's not even close, right? Very interesting. Let's look at one more thing here. Let's look at the silencer. Let's open this thing up just a little bit. Watch this, guys. Let's see what happens here. Now we got the machine opened up like we got the rest of the machines opened up. We could probably end the demo right there because that proves exactly what I'm talking about. You guys see how that 40 kilohertz come alive on that mid to low conductor and unmasking on iron? Well, for you guys that are out there doubting multi-frequency runs in these detectors. There's weighted programs that run that 40 kilohertz or close to it in the top band of the multi that it's processing. And that's why you have the advantage of unmasking with these multi-detectors over the single. Now, one of the things about, you say, well, why not just buy a single frequency detector like that? Because it also in the multi processes the lower frequency too. Now, it's not as pronounced as the high frequency, but it will give you an unmasking capability sometimes that 40 kilohertz may not hit a silver dime of that. And when you put the multi on it, and it may hit the silver dime, or it may not hit it as good. But I found that in my soil, multi pretty much around the board is better in unmasking, and the higher frequency, you get the unmasking advantage with the lower being processed in the multi and not just the higher. So there's an advantage there too. But a high frequency of 40 kilohertz, even in single frequency, has some great unmasking characteristics. You cannot get there, guys, with these single frequency multi-detectors that are running 20 kilohertz and under. You cannot get there in the unmasking department. You see the Deus 2 right there? That's pretty impressive, right? The White's machine wouldn't touch it, the Garrett machines wouldn't touch it, the Fisher machine wouldn't touch it, and I'll be showing the F75 getting smoked by the single frequency of this metal detector and the 40 kilohertz very, very soon. Now, let's look at multi. Well, I got the Deus 2 out here. Let's just pull it over in multi. Let me see what we got here. Swinging a full, yes, that's right. As loaners, good little singer. Yeah. This is an interesting deal here, man. I mean, this allows people to see in real time. See, there's no hoodoo voodoo. Some guy seen me cut a video yesterday, and what I'd done is I had run the triple score, and I try to be straight up. I run the triple score with an iron filter of 0. When I took the nickel out and showed the nickel removed from the test, it was falsing on the nail. So I cut the iron filter up 1, and the nail wasn't falsing, so I put the coin back in and redid the test. And the guy called me out, and it was actually a good catch. The guy called me out on it and said, why did you do that? Well, in this live, I'm going to show you the iron filter of 1 on the triple score, okay? I done that because it wouldn't have been a fair test to test one metal detector that's false and then the other one not. We need apples to apples in real comparison. We don't need this fluff crap, and we don't need these people who are sponsored by certain manufacturers, you know, giving us these flawed tests. I seen the F75 video today that Sparrows talked about. It's a bull crap video, man. It's a disservice to the metal detecting community to try to tell us that an F75 is keeping up with a high frequency of these other machines in unmasking scenarios and at depth. It's bull crap. It's total bull crap. Let me look and see what Lance said right here. Look at the frequency the same way you would look at eyes. You'll see more with 4 sets of eyes watching an area or with 1 set. Yeah, that's actually a good analogy, Lance. That's a real good analogy. Let's look right here. Let's go over to my Relic program, which you guys know that I use. And you can see that multi right there. It's getting hammered right here. Well, the sensitivity's at 90. Let's lower it down. Let's do a noise cancel. And in this high EMI area, this fast program really gets hit on this side of my house. And before the haters start, no, this is not the norm. There's many Deus 2 users on there, and this is not the norm. This is a kind of special environment here. Let's look at multi on this, guys. Multi in the Deus 2. Will it hit the nickel? Does that even look like that's close? The single frequency even, the single frequency of the Deus too. Watch this. Look at that coil. It's almost like it's ignoring the iron, right? Let's double check it. Make sure we don't need to add filters. Let's double check it and make sure we don't need to add filters. Make sure the detector's not falsing. Let's lay it back right there on the rust spot. Just so everybody knows, can you guys hear that? Hold on. All right. Any questions? Any questions? I'm not sharpshooter. Some of these guys need to be asking questions and not making statements. Hey, you guys know me. You guys that have been with me from the beginning know I ain't just making this crap up, pulling it out of thin air. You know, look, you guys know that I test beta and I get products from XP. You guys all know that. But it still doesn't change the fact of what that machine can do. You guys know that I've gotten a Manticore from Minelab. You guys know that I've got multiple products from Nokta. I've got products from a lot of people, not so much metal detectors, but different things to test. And one thing that you guys know is I always show the real deal. And what detector have I told you that was great or world-class unmasker that didn't turn out to be? Well, I'm going to show you another little thing here. Watch this. So, we remember the F75 cost what? $1,200 when it come out, right? That's what it costs, right? Well, look at this coil on this old Manticore. Let you see this. I'm gonna do an unmasking test with this coil. Let's see. Let's see here. This is the Fisher F19, which is pretty close to look at this. Now, look at that. Which one should unmask better? This one or this one? Well, let's see. What you guys think about that? 15-inch coil on the Manticore on iron unmasking test. Has Cal lost his mind? Maybe, maybe not. We're gonna run low conductors. Let me just run through the settings because people are gonna be like, oh, you can't, 19, look at how quiet this is too. Now, one thing about this, Minelab, they have come up with some EMI mitigation that's just off the chain. Look at that. That's with a sensitivity of 19. Out away from here, yeah, you could get up into the mid-20s, low 20s, and you get superior depth. We already know that, guys that know this machine. But look at that. It's pretty good for my side of the house, man. It's the best I've seen, actually. But how does it do with this giant coil? And we've seen what the single frequencies do, set up in a higher weighted multi-frequency program. Let's see. Have I got any comment? Oh, everybody's quiet today. I don't know what's going on. Let's change cameras. Let's go back over here. Look at that test now. Look at that test. Look at all that iron under that coil. Let's make sure it's not false, and we'll lay it right back on the rust spot. No iron falsing. What's going on here, guys? Let's lay that right back on the iron spot. Look at that coil height. Do you guys see that? Let me put your reference. This is one of my boat cushions, okay? I don't know. It's a foot. I don't know. Okay. Let's talk about that just for a moment. Let's talk about that. I'm going to say this right here, dude. It's not even debatable. Anybody that tries to hold that position is arguing a mute, indefensible point. There is no defensible point that a single frequency metal detector in 2024 can compete with a multi-frequency metal detector. Sorry, it's just not going to happen. Let's see what we got right here. Yeah, that's hard to believe. Hey, see you later, Lance. Okay, so it's just, you know, it's a mute point. Or can you find a video on YouTube that will show an inferior metal detector beating a superior metal? Absolutely. It can be done in ignorance. It can be done with evil intent for you to buy a certain product, and it is evil intent. If I showed, or anybody else shows you a product and they slate it to be over another product to get you to to buy that product, that is evil intent. It's morally wrong, and it shouldn't be done. If you want to market something, market it for what it is and call it what it is. I show a lot of the Nokta machines here lately. They're a great bang for the buck, but am I going to tell you that at the end of the day that they'll outperform the Deus 2 and the Manticore? No. Are they close? Yes, but they are not above or equal to, and they have some things that, that are great. And hey, everybody don't need this much more depth, or this much depth, or that much more unmasking, but I do. And, for my personal day-to-day driver, I use a Deus 2 and a Manticore, because at the end of the day, they have an advantage over those detectors. Now, with that being said, the Nokta lineup is great. It blows everything else away, and for the price, it's a better value, in my opinion, over the Minelab and the XP Deus 2. It's not $1,000 worth of performance difference in those two detectors, of those three brands. The Manticore, I got all tangled up, but you guys know what I'm trying to say. There's not $1,000 difference between the Legend, the Triple Score, the Manticore, and the Deus 2. You're paying for minimal advantage, $1,000 bucks. So just keep that in mind. Oh, well, let's get something else out of here. Let's just break out an Elite with a small coil, and then we'll break out some Nokta products. And let me see what I got some comments. F75, 1200 in 2008, Minelab anniversary sale machine, 1200 in 2024. There you go. There you go. There you go. And it's not even comparable. I had a guy last night, I done a live, and, he kind of got under my skin a little bit with that, quoting these videos. And I'm like, I don't even want to watch the video. I didn't want to waste my time because I already knew the video was bull bleep. You know what I mean? And I didn't want to waste my time, but I went and did it just so I could say, hey, this is what's wrong. The guy had the iron bias setting set up too much, had the recovery speed jacked up, wide open, trying to hit 11-inch target. Recovery of 3 on the 600 equals what? A 7 or 8 on the 8. Ain't going to get into it. Let's look at a Minelab product. Let's look at the Elite. Who else on YouTube will get out here and put themselves out there like I'm doing right now? I am showing you live nail test. And we can move the configurations, and we will in a minute. We will slide the 3D nail back to see where it takes the other machines to hit it. How about that? Let's see here. We got the Elite. And let me cut the mic on. Here's the Elite. Remember what I told you about the EMI? That Manticore's good with it, right? Part 2, opened up machine. Let me make sure I'm not in -1. Let me see here, -1. We're going to run it at 0. I think that's comparable. The -1's really, really opened up, and I don't know how that'll hunt. But let's see what we got here. The little old Elite, $599 multi-frequency metal detector. Little old coil, but it'll do the same thing with the big coil. Look at that height. Back on the rust spot. Look at that height. Blinds it out when you get it right on it. Inch above it, 3 inches. So with the small coil elite, that's a pretty interesting piece of data, right? So when that stuff's down in the ground 3 or 4 inches, if it's right on top of the ground, not quite as good, but an interesting piece of data. But look at that. Let's grab a Fisher machine real quick and look at that while we're looking, right? Well, I got that camera down there. Let's just grab this Fisher machine. Let me let it kick on a cycle. Down on it. Not even close, right? Okay. Well, that solves that problem. That's the F19. That solves that question, right? So that's a good piece of data. People don't like this air testing and stuff like this, but I'm gonna tell you something. Sharpshooter has found more stuff. Let me cut this mic off because I don't want to blast you guys out. Sharpshooter has found more stuff with them styrofoam coolers than than most people that's been detecting 40 and 50 years. How many problems have you got? You know what I mean? He has found a lot of stuff that the manufacturers have corrected and improved on by doing all that styrofoam cooler testing that a lot of people like to make fun of. A lot of people think that the only data that means anything is taking these detectors to the field. Well, look what I've just showed you in a matter of minutes. If I had drug all this to the field, you may have never discovered this in years. So some people believe that you need to spend thousands of hours doing this. I do not. I talk with manufacturers, I consult with manufacturers, and this is the most efficient, economical way to test metal detectors and find out what the possibilities of those metal detectors are. I can tell you when a new detector comes out, before it leaves my testing parameters, if it has the potential to be a superior unmasking, a great coin machine, have superior depth. Now I do have to go to the beach and test it in the wet salt sand, and I live close to a beach and I'm able to do that. But for all practical purposes for land hunting, excluding gold and all that prospecting stuff, I can tell you with these testing parameters that which metal detector has the greatest possibility of being the best. One anomaly I've seen over the years, one anomaly that didn't translate from the testing to the field, that was the falsing issue with the Manticore. But everything else that I've showed in just under 10 years of metal detector testing has proven out true from the testing grounds to the field. So just keep that in mind. All people who think, that are watching this, all you guys think that you have to drag these things around in the field, you don't know what's under the coil, number one. You don't know how to set up the metal detector to get the best performance out of it because you're running blind, as Blasted Cat said last night. That's where the test garden comes in. And number three, who in the world has thousands of hours in their life to drag all these metal detectors? Who would want to do that? Well, this is the most efficient way, and I'm going to bring up one more point in this live since I've got 40 people watching. If you don't believe that, NASA Tom. For you guys who don't know who NASA Tom is, he owns Thomas Dankowski, a metal detecting firm. He worked for NASA. He's big into metal detecting engineering, works with Minelab on some of their products, and has been testing, worked with Fisher on some of that CZ3D Tom Dankowski tuned metal detectors. He got the Deus 2, and I said this in the live last night, and within a week and a half of owning it, he said the Deus 2 is a world-class unmasking metal detector. How did NASA Tom, Genius IQ, say that about a metal detector that he hadn't used for thousands of hours in the field? Answer that question. Testing. Controlled testing. You can know what a metal detector can do from controlled testing. Possibility. Mild to moderate soil, and there's variables in that. It may cut down. You may not be able to hit a 11-inch dime in your testing scenario like I can here. But I can tell you this, a detector that won't hit a 9-inch dime in my mild soil is not going to keep up, even in your moderate soil, with a detector that'll hit a 12-inch dime here. And I've seen that over the years, and that has held true with the other guys that I know around the country. If it won't hit a 9-inch dime here, it's not going to outdo the detector that'll hit a 12-inch dime here. It's just never happened. We've never seen that. But anyway, I'm just kind of rambling on today, guys. Anyway, we're doing school from the yard. Yes, fanboy silence. Enjoy hunting with what you have. Do not get emotional about a machine. Well, that's true. But that's true. But that's what this channel is about: information. This channel is about how to run your metal detector. Look at the boot camp videos. I teach on all metal detectors. This channel is also about which detectors perform the best. It always has been. That's how I built my channel. You know, people get butthurt about it, but hey, it is what it is. When I'm in the field, I want the best metal detector that I can afford. And I'm fixing to show you some economical metal detectors that perform really good. And I'm going to quit rambling on. So, oh boy. I think I paid $1,200. Ooh. New multi-frequency is where it's at. Yeah. Yeah, it is. It is. Let's see here. Yeah, that's why I got it. Yes, Tom knows his stuff. And he said that. You can go look and search the old forum. He said, look, he was comparing. I know what he was doing. That Manticore, when I showed that Deus 2 on that saltwater beach and what it was doing when it come out, Tom got one and was running that sucker up against that Manticore. And I know he worked with Minelab. He was working with Minelab on the Manticore. Why? Because they had to get the Manticore to beat or exceed or tie the Deus 2 on the saltwater beach. I mean, that's the whole why. But he said that about the Deus 2 very, very quickly. I'm going to say a week and a half of having it. He said, hey, dude, this is a world-class unmasking machine. And I'm like, yeah, I'm going to put that in my memory bank for all these people that say controlled testing don't mean much. You got a dude that's an engineer telling you that, and how did he do it? 1,000 hours in the field of controlled testing. You know, not going to ramble on much more with that. But let's look at let's see here. Here's a very economical metal detector, in my opinion. Very good buy. You know, you guys have seen me show this metal detector. Great performance. Saltwater beach is unbelievable. $499. You want to buy one, call the guy right up there in the corner of the screen. He has the best return shipping policy there is on the market today. 60-day return, no question asked. Put it back in the box. Even if you used it, send it back to him. He'll give you your money back if you don't like it. But you guys don't take advantage of that. This guy's a good guy. He's supporting his family off of that. Guys out there in the world, don't, if you got a problem and don't like it, that's one thing. But some people will just, don't be that guy. Don't take advantage of that return policy unless you really, really mean it, That's just my opinion. A lot of this stuff's my opinion, right? But I think my opinion on a lot of this stuff is held to be true a lot over the years. And, it is what it is. And can I be wrong? Absolutely. But I'm not wrong about this. I can guarantee you that. A little bit of arrogance, right? $4.99. Set up in M2. M2. So, okay, somebody quoted me yesterday and says, oh, Calabash. Who was that? It was a guy from over in the UK, Pistol Pete. Says, my triple score does not run 40 kilohertz. Yes, it does, Pete. Your triple score in M2 is running close to 40 kilohertz or around 40 kilohertz in the higher bandwidth on the M2. So, Pistol Pete, yes, your triple score does. Set up here, we've got let me make sure that we've got the iron filter on 1. We want to make sure the iron filter is at 1. See right here, guys? This is why I chopped the video yesterday. Iron filter 1, recovery 4, pitch tones, nothing else out of kilter, M2. Let's switch cameras here, guys. Let's kick back over. Let's look at that scenario. Not quite Deus level. See what I'm talking about? Not quite Deus 2 level. But a $499 unit that is superior to any one of those detectors laying on the ground over there. Single frequency. Coil height that way is excellent. Not quite as good down the barrel. One-way hit, but you got to remember that is the difference between $499 and $1,500. And I'm just going to go back to that just for a second. That's the difference between a $1,500 metal detector and a $499 one now. And if that's, you guys have to be the judge out there in YouTube land. If $1,000 is worth what you just seen, we seen the Manticore and the Deus too outperform it, but that's pretty dang good, right? Is there $1,000 worth of difference? Comment in the section over there and let me know what you think. Let's get the Legend out. Let's get the Legend out. I don't know. We may test the multi on the single on the Manticore too. I don't know yet. Let me get right here. Feature performance, get a Deus 2 and be done with. Well, there you go. See, there you go. But Harold, if your budget is $600 or $700 because the missus says you're insane if you're thinking that you're going to take $1,200 or $1,500 out and put in a hobby, then you can have confidence if you buy an Elite or a triple score that you still got a high performance detector at the end of the day. That will outdo 100% the older single frequencies, including the F75 and all the Whites machines. And you know what? I'm going to bring something up right here while we're here, and I can't test this today. I have a sneaky suspicion that I can take the triple score in the Minelab Elite and outperform the CTX on gold on the beach. I almost know it for 100% fact. But I need to show that, but I'm not spending $2,000 on a CTX to prove that. I need to borrow one. So just keep that in mind. But if you got a CTX and you're a fan of it, I'm going to tell you right now, the beach video with these cheaper detectors is going to hurt your feelings when you see these cheaper detectors wearing out the gold that the CTX and a modded out Excalibur won't hit. So just keep that in mind. Bearer of bad news today, ain't it? Let's look at a Legend. We're going to run part M2 on the Legend. Let me look at the comments here while this thing's firing up. You know, give me just a minute. What you guys think about this content? You like this? Well, yeah, that's a good one, Harold. That's actually a good one. We'll cut the Legend down a little bit. We'll cut it down to about 20. Oh, I'm in Beach Program. Beach Program is really in my yard. I don't know what it is, but it's very sensitive to let's see, recovery speed 6, 5, 4. Let's just run about a 5, iron filter 1, stabilizer 5. Nothing crazy. You see what I'm saying? This is all usable. Let me make sure that I'm in pitch audio here. Oh, my bad. I done switched over from the 60 tones. Let's go to pitch. There we go. Let me make sure that the tone break is not. There we go. 10. There we go. That's a good, usable, stable, huntable setup that you can use in the iron. Multi-purpose, good, usable. Machine's opened up. Let me kick over the deal here. That triple keeps up with this Legend. You guys see that? Look at that coil height. Let's double check it. Make sure it's not the nails falsing. Let's lay it right back down on that rust spot right there. Down on it, raised right there. Two-way hit, turn on it. And while I got your attention, let me just show you I'll show you the difference between a $1,500 Manticore wearing a bigger coil. While I got your attention, let me just pull out the Manticore again. Big coil. Let it kick on. That's the difference. Slow it down. Let me see what the Manticore recovery speed's on. It's on 4. Let's raise it. Let's raise it more comparable to the Legend. Watch this. And that's the difference between a $1,600 metal detector. Just wanted to show that, you know, Is that $1,000 worth of difference? You guys be the judge on that. Let me go back and look at this comment. That's why I always sweeping days too with coin shooting in the beach as well as unmasked clad coins. Great test and enjoyed. Hey, I appreciate it. I don't do that over the ground. I don't scrub the coil per se, but I keep a pretty close proximity to the ground. But because I feel like on average you got 2 or 3 inches of distance between a sink. You know what I'm saying? I don't feel like that most coins are laying right on top of the ground like that. So I feel like that by keeping it a 1/2 inch or so, you know, a smooth level plane, you know, I feel like that I'm getting that separation distance with what on average. I'm not saying that it couldn't be. There are no absolutes in metal detecting. We'll go ahead and get that out of the way. But on average, I don't want to raise my coil this high. I raise it this much, and then I feel like the separation in the ground, most targets are 2, 3 inches, you know, at least. And I feel like that, I guess if you were chasing clad coins on top of the, you know, fresh drops, that'd be a different story. But that's the way I do it, and that's why I do it that way. Let's see what else we got here. Blasted Cat. Tearing it up when we paid $600 for single frequency whites in the 80s that couldn't come close to any of the tests. These are good. Yes. Let's, you know, I tell you what, you guys give me a second. Let me think about this. Let me go in the house. I'm going to mute the mic, and I'm going to come back out, and we're going to just switch it out for a higher conductor. I've not tested a higher conductor quarter in this. We may see some of the single frequencies pass this test with a higher conductor quarter. Give me just a minute. I'm going to mute it. Give me about 60 seconds to go get a quarter. Sorry, guys. I should have had that done. All right, guys, I have not done this test off camera with a quarter with this particular detecting scenario. I know that some of the tests that I've done in the past, the lower single frequency metal detectors were closer on a higher conductor, and I'm expecting that we will see that today too. So how will the high frequency do? Well, we know that the high frequency blisters those detectors in mid to low conductors. But let's look at a high conductive quarter, put in the same place. I'll show you guys real quick. Same rust spot, you guys will see it. Matching, yes, it does matter. Reactivity and swing speed is a big deal. If you lower the swing speed, you need to slow your sweep speed, but they're still fast, and it doesn't have to be like the E-Track, which I have, but I don't want to show the E-Track because I'm not confident on where I want to set the screen on it yet, so I'm not going to put that in the mix today. I want to get a little more confident on where I want the screen to open up the E-Track to where it won't fault so much and still get the best unmasking. So we'll get to that one later. But let's start with the multis on this high frequency. Let's just pop out. What do we got here? We got a Legend, and I'm just going to start running through them on this test, and they're set up the same. You guys know that. So before my cameras die, we're going to kick it up, cutting the Legend on, let it get powered up. Let me find my other mic real quick. This is some interesting stuff, right? I mean, where you guys seen a live stream with all this testing going on like this? So here's a Legend, quarter. Okay, it hits it. Okay, smokes it. Let's move on to the what we're gonna pull here. Let's pull out the triple score, wearing that coil. So we're just gonna run through the Nokta products first. Triple score. Very similar behavior, right? That way. Passes it, no problem. See all that iron under the coil? That's a big deal. Let's get that's the triple score. Let's get the Simplex Ultra out. We might see a difference with the Ultra here, being that it's lower frequency. What? That's the Simplex Ultra. It got closer. It actually did, in my opinion, this test, it did better than the Legend and the Score. Well, you know, that's interesting. We're gathering data, guys. We're gathering data. That doggone Simplex, that's pretty wild right there, right? That's pretty interesting. But I will say this right here. I just lost the camera. I lost the camera. My camera went dead, so that's going to be a problem. Oh, that's going to be a real problem. What can I do here? I will say this, that I do not like, I think, and this is my opinion, I like the round 11-inch coil on the Legend better than I do that coil. I feel like that I got better unmasking results out of those coils. Rattlehead just said he didn't get a gold ring. I believe it just come in. Let me see what I can do here with the camera. Let me look right here and see if I can pull down my Insta360, which is plugged in, and see if we can get it to go. Uh-oh, that's too far. You guys, that's too far. Oh, it's going the wrong way. Let me see, right. Give me a minute, guys. There it is, right there. Okay. Let me see if I can pull it back up. Well, right there it is. You guys can see the nail test from right there, right? So I think that will work. Sorry about that. That's how these. That's the problem with running some of these. Did my other camera go dead too? I believe it did. Yep, both of my cameras died, so I knew that was going to happen. How long have I been on? Yep, about an hour. I knew it was going to happen. But let's look at the. Okay, let's look at the Minelab Elite. So if we see the triple score coming alive that much with the single frequency, then the older detector should hit this. No problem. Dude, that doggone Minelab machine smokes that, right? I mean, it blitzes that, right? Golly, that's insane. Let's check out the Manticore. We're still going to run low conductors on the Manticore on this test. All right, same settings. And giving a pretty good ID, bump it up to 64, so you guys see the Manticore. You guys see the Manticore. Everybody still with me? So let me make sure everybody's still here with me. You guys seen the Manticore, right? Let me see, what's next? Deus 2. Gonna cut it on in my relic program. I'll have to get it quieting down because it defers, it don't save the last settings that you had. So let me bump the sensitivity down. Okay, make sure I can still see. I was making sure I can still see the camera. But this camera's plugged in, so we shouldn't have any issues. Let me cut the sensitivity down. All right. Let's see here. Let me look right here. Let me noise cancel this thing and look at the... All right, let's roll with it. Here we go. Let's look. Will the Deus 2 hit the quarter? So there's that processing that low frequency. So we see that we changed out the conductivity of the target, and the Deus 2, because it's running multi, still smacks the high conductor too. Now let's start looking at the single frequency metal detectors. Well, let's look at the Apex. That's a multi from Garrett. So the Apex should smoke this coin right here. So you guys give me a minute. And then this way, Garrett's behind on their multi-frequency. That's evident. They're behind on their waterproofing too. Look at that right there where we had it on the beach. Look at the water behind the screen. That's just from raining, so they're behind on their waterproofing too. That's the first time I've had it out in the rain. So that's that metal detector. Let's see here. Let's see here. What's next? Let's go with the White's MXT Pro. It should smack that, right? Let's just cut it on and disc mode, two-tone. Let's see what we got here. Relic mode. Let's see what it does. Foil. VDI 0. Let's turn it this way. Straight iron. Fail that way. Possibility. Showing a VDI 4 foil. A little bit confused this way. I'm going to let you guys make that call. I'm going to let you make that call. Fail or pass. What do you guys think? Comment on that Whites right there. Is that a fail or pass? You guys know better than I do, but I don't know, man. Let's see here. Simplex 12. Is it 14? You're going to wreck the use. Hey, I appreciate it, Joe. I appreciate it. What's up there, Lewis, Anthony? Let's see. You know the Gary are still stressing out. Wonder they still have developed the same old tech with a new color. I don't know. Some humor, guys. Whites, yikes. Well, let's pull up the AT Pro. So for all practical purposes, the AT Pro should pass this unmasking test. It should pass it, right? That's a high conductor. Here we go. Okay, it likes the high conductor. But complete fail that way. Okay, guys, you see it. This is what I'm talking about. At the end of the day, even if the single frequency metal detectors hit that target, who cares? If you change out the conductivity of the target, it's a definite no-go. But you guys still see that machine is behind. Let's look at the AT Max. You guys stay tuned. Metal detector testing, that is finest, guys. Let's see here, AT Max. And then, while I got the camera down here, when we get done, oh, that's horrible. We'll slide that nail back to see what it takes. Let's see. You guys be the judge. Okay, you see it pass it one way. There you go. So it did exactly what I told you guys. I told you that the different conductivity target, the advantage would narrow by a margin, but it's not a big margin, right? I mean, the single frequency detectors are still performing way under what the multis do on that. It's actually not even comparable, but it's more comparable with the Nokta Legend and the triple score. When you break out the Deus 2 multi and the Minelab multi and the Elite multi on that particular test, it really whips it out. It really whips that single frequency detector. Let's look at the Fisher. This is the big deal, you know, the Fisher F19 opened up, V-brake 39, all that good stuff. Let me get it cut on, get the mic mic'd up on it. Let's see what we got here. A master class of truth. I appreciate it, Blasted Cat. All right, so here we are with the Fisher F19. Let's see what it does coming across. Should hit it. It's running 19 kilohertz, should hit it. One way hit. See, it can't deal with that 3D elevation. This is the problem with these old tech detectors. You see coming across that elevated nail? Can't handle it. When you come back across and the nail's on the same plane, watch. Here. Let me do it slow. Let's put some speed on it. There we go. We got it to pass. We got it to pass at that height. Let's lower it down. Raise it. All right, so it's got a certain height that it passes. You see that? Okay, let's go this way. Down on it. That thing smokes them Garretts, don't it? I mean, it smokes. But let me show you guys what I'm talking about here. See the quarter? We're gonna put it back in the same spot, but let me grab something. This is what I'm talking about, multi versus single. The conductivity of the target just changed. You cannot get there. You cannot get there with a single selectable frequency metal detector. This is two conductivity targets. The 19 kilohertz is able to unmask the high conductive target. It is not able to unmask the low conductive target. Hence, the multi-frequency is able to do both low and high at the same time. Now, one thing to note here, we'll check the single frequency maybe on the Manticore or the Deus 2, and we'll run it down in a single selectable frequency like this detector, and we will run it up, and we'll see what the comparison is on a high conductive coin versus the F19 in just a few minutes, if my cameras and everything stays going. But on high conductive coin, F19's holding its own right there on that particular test. So, and actually outperforming the Garrett machines, which I already knew that a F75 and the Fisher products had superior unmasking capabilities over the Garrett machines. What else do I have? Did I miss anything? How about AT Pro? I got it. Let's try Deus Mono. So we're talking about this single selectable frequency. Let's check single selectable frequency and see if we can demo what I'm talking about here. You guys still with me? Uniform comments of AT circa 2. Hello. Stink, something is going on with your comments, dude. I have approved some of your comments. It keeps flagging your comments, Stink, and it won't put them in my thing. So I don't know if it's the name that you got, because I have a real restrictive thing on my channel. I don't know if it's flagging, you know, the name that you got as your profile or what, but it will not let your comments coming through on my channel anymore. I don't know what's going on. So we're going to look at Deus mono. We're going to put it in single frequency. Let's see here. Okay, this is actually going to be a good test, guys. We're going to put the let me see if I can get it down where you guys can see it. We've got Deus mono here. We're going to run it in 4.4, and we're going to raise the scale. Let's watch this, guys. This actually may be a very good test. And we'll put the reactivity at 2.5, audio response 5. Let me get the tone set up, the ones that I like, pitch. Let's just cut the silencer off and open the machine up. 4 kilohertz, let's look at it. But watch this, guys. This is what I'm trying to demo to people that don't know about this stuff. Watch what happens at 4 kilohertz here. What do you guys think is going to happen? That's going to go away, right? Well, we'll see. That is why single frequency metal detectors are obsolete for all practical purposes. Putting the high conductive target back down, which we know high frequency is hotter on low to mid conductors. Low frequency is hotter on high conductors. And when you got a machine that can do both at the same time, then you got something. Okay, let's go in here. 7 kilohertz. 13 kilohertz. 17 kilohertz. 25 kilohertz. 32 kilohertz. 40 kilohertz. Now, I'll make the argument that if you're hunting in iron, whether you're hunting high conductors or low conductors, you need a high frequency metal detector. Even if it's single frequency, you should be running the highest frequency possible if you're hunting heavy iron laden sites, because you see the high frequency will unmask the high conductor. The high frequency will also do what that the low won't do. Well, let's check this out. The low will not unmask the nickel. Will the high? But if we replace, let me cut this down. Let me cut this off just for a second. If we replace this big old quarter with a dime, we can see some more variation with the multi over just a single selectable high. The multi has better target ID, and when I make these targets smaller with testing in the past, I've found that in most scenarios, the multi-frequency on the Deus 2 will outperform the single-frequency Deus mono. Are there exceptions? Yes, there could be an exception, but overall, in general, 90% of the time, the fast program or the sensitive full tones will unmask better than the Deus mono 40 kilohertz. But you guys see that Deus mono on the Deus 2 smokes these other machines. I mean, it smokes all the single selectable frequencies. It's not even close to how different these machines are. I mean, we could show it one more time, and we showed the F19 being the best unmasker of the single frequency unit, so we will use the F19 in comparison with the Deus 2 one more time in single frequency. And hold on, guys, just let me show you something. So we're just going to shoot that nickel, because we're talking about mid to low conductors. We already know that the F19 it held its own with a high conductive target. So, Deus mono, 40 kilohertz, Discrim 6.1, pitch tones, silencer off because there's no disc in the 19. Let's look at the, we'll cut it on 6. There we go. Watch this right here. It's 45.4 kilohertz. Look at that sweet speed. You're hunting iron with a Deus 2 in single frequency. Okay, guys, let's break out the F19 just to show this one more time. The F19 tested out the best today in single frequency metal detectors. You guys seen that, right? So, what do you guys think about all this? This is pretty amazing live stream right here, right? This is the content that we want to know, right? Nothing. Nothing. Now watch the conductivity of the target. And we seen Deus 40 kilohertz wear the quarter out too, right? In single frequency. Down on it. Nothing down on it. Up above it right there. Higher. About an inch above the nail, nothing. You know, while we got that there, we could see that an inch above the nail is nothing. I want to test the Deus 2 one more time and check the height on that one more time in single frequency. I want to see if it gets closer to the iron, if it can hit it. Give me a second. And then we'll talk about it when we end the live. I'm sweating, guys. It's hot here in the south today. Let's see here. Deus mono. Coil pairing up. Let's go in here. Pitch tones. Silencer off. Notch off. 40 kilohertz. Alright. Let's look at it close. Coil close. I'm almost touching nail. Very similar. Which one hits the high conductor better? Does the Deus 2 and 40 kilohertz hit this target better than the doggone F19? You guys listen. Let me put it in my relic program real quick. I'll have to do some dialing on it. Give me just a second. Ooh, that's ugly. Hold on. Ooh, that's ugly. Let me do some dialing in on that. This is my other relic program built off of sensitive full tones. Let's see what happens with it. Ooh, let's cut the sensitivity down. Ooh, that's ugly. All right, let's check that. But the big difference is this right here. Change the conductivity of the target. And I want to stress this point one more time. And I think that concludes the flight today, folks. And thank you for flying with Calabash Digger. We'll teach you something you do not know, what you do not know, airlines. Thank you for your participation. Oh, people's gonna hate me. Let me get back around here. Oh man, that right there, dude, is that's very interesting, right? Let me oh man, this stupid thing. Hold on a minute. Let me lift it back up. You guys bear with me. I'm down on cameras. Hold on a second. My cameras went dead. There we go. People's gonna hate me. My wife says I ain't got no friends left because of this crap. And she's about right. Let me look at the comments here. Let me cut this extra mic off so we're not getting a bunch of feedback because I got it in my hand. What do you guys think about all that? Let's see right here. Hey, I appreciate it, man. Let me see right here. Let me see. Okay, let me get my towel, dude. I'm sweating. You guys give me a minute. Let me call the bottled water people. Quarterback needs some water here, folks. Oh man, what do you guys think about that? And yes, it's a frequency thing. There's no debating that, right? If I show the F75 and I switch out the conductivity of the target, it's going to be a complete fail. And what does that translate to in relics? Well, if I go in there and get some Civil War buttons, they're going to come in low to mid conductor. If I go get Rev War buttons, they're going to come in low to mid conductor. If you're a coin hunter, maybe it's closer, you know. But I will say this, that like the Deus 2 and the Minelab products have very good ID, target IDs at depth, and deal with modern trash better, in my opinion, than, say, the Fisher machines do. So if you're using a Fisher machine and you're happy with it, keep it. But if you're interested in what is going on in 2025 in the metal detecting world, then you're in the right spot. Let me look at the comments right here. Let me get a drink of water too. It's kind of smoky hot today. My glasses are all messed up. Harold, I just showed you the Deus one. You might not have caught it, but when I put the Deus 2 in Deus Mono, I basically showed you an improved version of the Deus 1. The Deus Mono is a Deus 1. Owner of XP told me that. But it is an improved version with EMI handling capabilities that have been enhanced. And you guys seen that when I put this machine in Deus 1 or Deus Mono, it handled the EMI on around the side of the house very, very well. So that is one place that you can utilize these single frequencies in high EMI environments to valve out a pump. Hi, good to see you, Lance. Glad you're back. But yeah, it's a very interesting thing, and this is where we're at. You know, if you want to argue the indefensible, there's some guy come over there talking about single frequency versus. Can you use a single frequency on a wet salt beach? Strike one. Answer is you can use it, but it ain't gonna work very well. The Minelab, it's funny, the Minelab X-Terra Pro is actually the best single frequency metal detector I've seen on the beach. And it's $269, but it cuts off at 10 inches on a mid to low conductive nickel. Where these other machines like the Legend, the Triple Score, the Manticore, the Deus 2 are hitting gold rings down 13, 14 inches. And the Manticore and Deus 2 get down around that 15, 16 inch mark, depending on the day and the weather and, you know, where I'm at exactly on the beach. But what else can I show, guys? You guys got anything you want to see? It's because Brandon got me banned on YouTube. Oh, Brandon got you banned? Well, you talking about the Garrett fanboy, Brandon? Is that who you're talking about that's testing metal detectors? Yeah. I wish we could see some Garrett Vortex comparisons like this before it's released. I did see that they showed the screen. You guys know that I'm all about, you know, showing the latest and greatest. If it's good, I'm all about promoting it. But, you know, that Garrett machine, I'll let you be the judge for yourself. How does it stack up to these? Just feature-wise and screen-wise. We can, you know, we've seen the screen now. He told you, I forgot that you guys can't see the comments. I'm so sorry. I don't have the comment section in the video because I wanted the view. He said the 2D screen on the new Garrett was far superior to the Manticore, and I told him he was clueless. He never had a Manticore in his hands. So he reported me and got banned. Wow. Wow. Wow, that's bad, dude. That's really bad. I'm going to reserve judgment for that, but I'm going to show that when it comes out. And I'm going to remember that comment, Stink, and I'm going to put that comment into my brain, and I may screenshot that comment. If I can find it, I'll screenshot it. And when we put it test it head-to-head, if it's true, we'll show it. If it's not true, then we'll do the politician fact-checking. Don't like politicians. Well, appreciate it, Stink. This is the best live stream you had, in my opinion. I love these kind of tests. It's a lot of time. Yeah, just find out what your real friend. Actually, we are just finding out who your real friends are. Yeah, well, that there you go. Seeing is believing. Yeah, I mean, it is, dude. I mean, what are you going to say? I'm out here trying to pull monkey business on folks and promote detectors that, I get that. I mean, you do get it. I mean, hey, I seen a video this morning finding Alabama with the F-75, and he's sponsored, I believe he's sponsored by Fisher, with the F75 beating the socks off the Equinox 600. You guys believe that crap? I don't. Don't worry, I'll have an F75 very soon. We'll fact check him too, and we'll show that too. But I'm trying to think of what. Why I got you here, guys. If you want to hang out a few more minutes, let's take the F19. Let's side the nail back. Let's see where we have to get the nail for the F19 to hit the mid to low conductor on this test, and then we'll check the other single frequency detectors and see. We're going to see which one hits the mid to low conductor on the single frequency detectors best. Let's check it out. I mean, it'll be an interesting data. At least we'll know. Let me go back to my Insta360 here, and let me start doing some finagling. You guys bear with me. So let me see when we can see the test. Let me pull it back right there. Oh, dude, you guys can see me. Dude, this thing has a wide view, don't it? Let me pull it back. Whoa, right there. All right, let's pull the nail back. Let me get my other mic back out. What to do with it? We'll cut it on in a minute. Let's check this out. I think this would be very interesting. Sorry about the comments, guys. I didn't realize that you guys couldn't see the comments. I forgot about it, but I knew that I wasn't going to put them in because I wanted all the space for the screen so we could see what's going on. So, let's pull this up. Mid to low conductor. We're going to get the F19. Let's see if the F19 turns out to be the best, you know, on the mid to low conductor when we slide the nail out furthest. Let's see what happens here. So we're just going to slide this back in increments. I'm going to move it right there. Let's see what happens. Getting a one way, but I'm going to slide it back till we get a two-way hit. I'm going to move it back in an increment. I'm going to slide it back further. Boy, that 3D iron unmasking really wreaks havoc on these single frequency metal detectors with mid to low conductors. One way. Slide it back. Just a little more. Now, I can slow the sweet speed, watch. But we don't swing like that. Let's just act like we're hunting. Still kind of. You guys want to call it right there? Yeah, we're going to call it right there. That's going to be, let's see what the other single frequencies do. Let's see if they'll outperform the F19. Let's check it out. Let's look at the Simplex Ultra. Now, sometimes, I'll go ahead and tell you guys on this testing, sometimes when you get, see that coil width? Sometimes if you get that nail and that nail under the edge of these coils in just the right place, you can actually blind a metal detector. So when you're watching these tests, keep that in mind that sometimes that plays a factor. You'll see a nail test where the nails are placed exactly here and here on the sides of the coil, and sometimes it'll blind one. So I like the tighter configurations because I feel like, you know, that's a more accurate representation, and knowing that these, see that right there? I don't know if it'll hit it or not. You see that blinded? You see how it blinded that coil because it's at the perimeter of where the coil's coming down? Okay, so that's a fail for the Simplex Ultra. Let's remember that right there is where the nail was. Now watch the Ultra here. Let's do the Ultra, move back just a little bit. Whoop. beast of Fisher machine. Now, like I said, there is that coil blinding issue when you put it to where it breaks on the sides of the coil like that. You see that? Just keep that in mind. That is a little tidbit that, you know, experienced testers know. That's not common knowledge out there in the metal detecting world. But I just showed it to you guys. And when you're watching tests, watch the coil dimensions. That's why I try to get the coil dimensions this way to be the same when we're testing these detectors. Let's look at the White's machine with a narrower coil. Maybe it'll do better here. What do you guys think? Should hit it, right? Let's see. Let's see right here. You know I'm on your side. It's pretty obvious to see which works better. I want my time back. Cool. Yeah. That's, yeah. That coil thing there, Blasted Cat, is a big deal, and it's another trick. So when we're comparing these detectors, we do need similar sized coils on them. Sometimes it's not possible. Like with this machine here, it's out of production. It's not possible for me to do that, but let's see what happens here. Swing speed. Slow. Moderate. Okay, we see that it'll pass it with a granny. Watch. Speed up. Gone. Very, very big deal right there, right? Notice that coil, how narrow it is. See, it's not breaking out over the edges. Actually, that coil is actually clear of the nails on the perimeter of the coil. So that's an advanced lesson right there, guys. I mean, you know, who else has showed that? You know, who else has talked about that? Let's look at the AT Max. Let's maybe we'll see something different with the Max here. So let me get this mic. I'm just gonna hold it. Let me make sure it's on. See, and on the Max, we might see that same thing. I don't know. Let's see. We got the coil marked where the nail is with the F19. Let's slide it in on the Max. Let's see where we have to be on the Max to hit it. The Max ain't gonna hit it anywhere in there. It doesn't matter. Let's lay it right there. Well, let's see how far we have to slide it back this way. There's that one. Let's slide it back past that notch. Let's slide it back more. Coming across. Wow, you guys see that? Let's slide it back more. Let's just put it right there and come across it. Same plane. You can't even hit it wiggling it because of that. It's picking up that nail. Look at that. Watch this, guys. Let's see if it's that nail. Is that the problem? I don't know what the problem is. Let's lay that back down where I got the mark. You guys be the judge. What do you guys think about that? I don't know. That's like, please cut that thing off, man. That thing sounds horrible, man. In my opinion, that's awful sounding. Let's see what we got here. I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. How to get the most out of the single frequency units. Yeah, if you, let me see here. How to get the most out of a single frequency unit. Yeah, I could do something on that. We could talk about that. If you have a single selectable frequency, that's another thing. But yeah, we could talk about that too. What else we got here? Garrett AT Pro. I don't even need to test it. We already know what the deal is going to be with that. Let's look at it one more time. Let's see here. Okay, nothing. Big fat nothing burger. Hey, while we're here, you know, I showed that coil thing. Let's see if we can block the, what's going on, Digging Daryl? Let's see if we can block the Deus 2 with that particular setup. Let's see if that will affect the 11-inch coil on the Deus 2, or if the Deus 2 might see around that. Let's see. Very interesting thing here. Let's see. See, that's breaking. See where that's breaking at? Let's see what happens here. You guys give me just a second. Let's get it fired up. It's going to be noisy as crap when it first comes on because I've got to, I don't know, it may not pair up because I got these wireless mics on. Sometimes when you're out here and I got these wireless mics going close to this, there it goes, it paired up. These wireless mics here do affect the Deus 2. That could be another problem with testing, whoops, 40 kilohertz. Sensitivity is what I'm looking for. Sensitivity down to 80. Let's see here. Let's go back to the scrim. Go to pitch. Yeah, that's what we want. Not silencer. 1. Yeah, we'll run it at 1. Let's see what happens here. Does it blind the Deus 2? It could. You see that? Interesting. Let's turn on. Now let's bring it closer. Remember that trick I just showed you guys? Let's bring it closer. Let's just put it right there. Always remember that. That's something that people can skew test with too. So when you're looking at these tests, look at the coil sizes and see the nail placement, and that can help you too. That's why I always try to do the tighter configurations to where the nails are all under the coil and not breaking that plane of the coil. Now, here's a good, let's see what else we got here. Nothing really else that I want to show. Well, let's look at the Manticore. Let's look at the Manticore with a 15-inch coil. Let's move the nail back and check it out. Let's put the nail right there. Let's see, it needs to come over just right there. Let's see what happens with the Manticore here. See that? Right under that perimeter of that coil. Let's slide it back. Okay, you guys see it. That is another thing too, with that Alabama digger test. It could have been set up to pass with that smaller coil on that T2. I mean on that Fisher F19. But we see on the F19 where this coil breaks, right? Let's get the nail in to where it's not breaking under the coil. Back into the tight configuration pattern. See that? And there you go. All right, guys. Let's kick it down here. Talk about it. Whew. I'm done. Let's see right here. Let me put it back in the position of 1. Let's kick it back up right here. There we go. I'm going to stand back up because I don't want to be kneeling down in, let's see right here. Open air, not the reality. Yeah, I always like the people that comment like that right there, Roger. I like, you know, that field hunting is the only way that you know what a detector can do, blah, da, 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 da. You don't know where the targets are. That's true. Let me ask you this, Roger. Let's say that you're hunting a field and all the targets are 6 inches deep and you carry a Garrett AT Pro out there versus a Minelab Manticore or Deus 2 or something like that, and you find all the more coins with the Garrett AT Pro that day, because they're laid out away from the iron, they're 6 inches deep, and you get in a spot that's got a bunch of coins in it, and the other guy's hunting over there with a Deus 2, or you're hunting over there with a Deus 2 the latter part of the day, and you don't find any coins. What can you deduce from that data? Exactly, nothing, except that you found more coins on that day with that metal detector in that situation, and you don't know the reason. Controlled test give a controlled environment to where you can see patterns develop with metal detectors over and over again. We can see performance, all these detectors that outperform the other ones in the field, you can clearly see it on the controlled test. So all you guys out there in YouTube land that like to come in and comment that, well, you need to call the manufacturers, XP, Nokta, Garrett, Minelab, and tell them that those controlled testing environments that they have set up in their metal detecting development facilities are useless, because the only testing that matters is out in the field in the real world. Yes, and I talk with major manufacturers on a regular basis, and they use controlled testing in controlled environments to gauge detector performance. And I'll even go a step further. I would imagine that they use controlled testing environments to gauge the detecting performance of who? Their competitors. So, long story short, yeah, controlled testing tells you a whole lot, and it also can reveal problems with metal detectors that you may never find in the field for the exact reason that you stated. You don't know what's under the coil. You don't know what you're missing. You don't know the scenarios. You don't know if you just don't know. This can show problems. It can show performance enhancements. Is it the end all, end all? No, I didn't say that. But you want to drag all these metal detectors out here? You come to where I live in the southeastern United States, I'll loan you every detector. You go test them in the field that day and bring me back the data. Or I can test them in this scenario and I can give you the data in real time. You can see it, you can understand it, and it's very practical, and it's very accurate, actually. I mean, the companies use similar stuff, so take that for what it's worth. And open air tests, as I stated in the beginning of this, take out the realities of ground. And I did say that there would be variations in different types of soil. I know all that. But here's the deal. If a detector, do you think that F19 is going to hit a mid to low conductor in the iron as good as one of these multi-frequency detectors just off this air test? If it won't do it in the air test, it's not going to do it in mild. It's sure not going to do it in moderate. It's not even going to get any better for the detector. Performance can come down. You may not get a 10-inch dime in my mild soil, which I have test bed in dirt too, but it's mild soil. And if you live in hot dirt, you're not going to get the same results that I get here depth-wise, or probably unmasking at depth. But the detectors that is ahead in this situation is worked out, and over the last 10 years of testing has worked out to be ahead in the moderate soil. Because I have testing buddies around the United States that live in different soil conditions, and everything that I've showed in the moderate soil that was ahead, guess what? It translated to be ahead, or in the mild soil, it translated over into the field to be better in their moderate soil around the United States. So we're comparing notes, man. This ain't just something off the cuff here. I've got a network of people that I speak with about this stuff, and we compare notes and bounce ideas off of one another and results that we get in different soil conditions, and it rings the same. The detectors that do best here in our head in the air and the mild soil hold true in the moderate too, from what we've seen over the last 10 years. Obsolete, yes, they are obsolete. They are obsolete. So the comment that I was responding to was Rogers right there. I learned the Deus in the 90s, the white DFX had garden tools to dig. We carried a shovel. As soon as I learned the Multifrequency was it, yep. Yes, yeah, that's a master class right there. It's a deal that people can play games with. I'm interested in the tightest configurations. Are there scenarios where different coil? Yeah, but if you start going down that rabbit hole, basically where you come away with, we really don't know. One guy commented over there on say, oh, any settings, any day of work, we'll find something. And I'm like, dude, run the silencer to 5 on a Deus 2. So what he was saying is basically run the silencer on a 5 to Deus 2, put the machine in a doggone recovery speed of 5, and just put anything you want to in it, and it'll find something on that day that something else. And I'm like, give me a break, guys. We play the game of odds here. And my thinking is, and my philosophy on these detectors is I like to run them as open as possible. And the game of odds is that it'll see the most objects, and I will dig the most objects, and I may dig more trash, but at the end of the day, you know, over a span of time, digging more objects equals more great finds, because every signal is not textbook. What's going on, Johnny? Oh yeah, man, yeah. It is. It's how they play games. What's going on, metal detecting Rockaways? It's all about separation. It is. And, you know, we can put targets out this far on a nail board, but that's not, you know, who cares? You get in these sites where houses rotted down, and the majority, I mean, you can just hear blah, 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 blah. So, in my philosophy and the way I test, the closer the iron, the better. Yes, I do too, Carolina Digger. I want to use what gives me the best. Are lucky to have neutral soil. Yes, we sure are, man. We're very, very lucky to have that. But that's just my, you know, my takeaway on it. People don't like the air test. Okay, so be it. I've got in-ground unmasking test too. I got coins that's been in the garden going on 8 years, you know. And there's arguments about that too. How, you know, and here's my, a coin has to be in the ground 50 years for the, come on, man, that is unprovable. Number 2, you need to call the detecting companies and tell them that their test beds are useless. Minelab. They'll say, coins detect better in the ground that's been there 100 years. You better call Minelab, because they don't got 100-year-old test beds, and tell them that they need to do something and find some coins and mark them out in the field, because what they're doing is not accurate. You know, I've heard all kinds of things, you know, over my career doing this, and this is what I'm going to say. 99% of the time, except for one anomaly, and that was the faulting on the Manticore, we have watched the detectors that perform best in these scenarios after release wind up becoming the most popular, wind up becoming amongst the general consensus of metal detecting, experienced metal detecting community, and not shields for other brands, have wound up becoming the best. What did I tell you in this testing about the Equinox 800? Wait a minute. What did I tell you guys about the Deus 1 versus all these single frequency metal detectors about iron unmasking with the HF coil? What did I tell you? And I'm just going to give a rundown, and I'm going to close it out. I told you that the Deus 1 with that high frequency HF coil was beating these detectors in iron unmasking. I just showed you the Deus 2 running in Deus Mono, which is the Deus 1 single frequency on the Deus 2 platform, whipping the socks off of these single frequency detectors. It proved out true over the years. Number 2, what did I tell you very soon before I had 1,000 hours on the Minelab Equinox? That it was a game-changing performance metal detector, right? Right? How did I know that? Testing. Did it translate to the field? Minelab Equinox 800 changed the world, right? Correcto. What did I tell you about the Deus 2 as soon as I got it from this type of testing? It wasn't a week. What did I tell you? Knowing the Deus 2 platform, what did I tell you guys? And everybody attacked me. What did they say? I took it to the beach and showed it. And they told me I was what? Full of poopy. Did they not say that? What did I tell them about the unmasking capability of the Deus 2 before I used it in the field? 100 hours or 1,000 hours in the field. What did I say? World class or best machine ever made at that time. Because why? The performance enhancements. Number 3, Manticore flies out. I show it. Great performer. It had one flaw that I caught, and that was the faulting issue that it had. But other than that, top performer, fixed that. Top tier detector in the world. The Nokta machines, told you, great performers for the price. You know, is there $1,000 worth of difference? You guys have got to be the judge of that. But all I'm saying is this. You may say that these air tests mean nothing. You may say that the type of backyard test mean nothing. But I have told you guys, as soon as these detectors come out, within a week or two, what these detectors were, and it has proved out true. And how can that be if these tests mean nothing? Answer the question. Anyway, I'm done with that. I'm done preaching metal detectors. Amen. All right, guys, let me look at these couple of comments. And what's going on, Tex? Giving me the best south to the halo. Yeah, you know, and if that's all true, and I'm not saying that iron, rubble, and all that in the ground doesn't affect it, but if you're all this coins and it's that big of the deal, and it makes a coin as big as a softball, why are we not digging 19-inch doggone large cents and coppers here in this mild soil? That's all I'm saying. It's just a question. What's up, Tex? It's always proved. Here we go. Here's Lance's comment. It has always proved to my test field also. The detectors that work best in my test field have always performed. It's that simple, Lance. It is that simple. They'll argue it. Old timers have, a lot of old timers have that philosophy about the field. And I'll be honest with you, I think a lot of that was started by people with, whether it was started by the companies or the testers of the companies or the shields for the companies over the years. I think that a lot of that was started by them to, you know, say, well, you can't really tell when they had an inferior product. Oh, yes, you can. And you can tell real quickly once you get a familiarity with these different detectors over the years and you understand how they perform and you see what the better ones do on average, and you can repeat it over and over again in different things, you can get an idea real quick of new detectors easy. Yes, your channel is made working up new detectors easy. When they call me, I tell them month of calabash. Hey, I appreciate it, Blasted Cat. I've rambled on for 2 hours, man, so I have 50 single freaks and all found a ton of my Deus 2 trumps all. There's Tex Kinsey, a legend in the metal detecting world. If you don't want to take my word for it, because I'm a newbie and don't know nothing, take Tex's word for it. He's been metal detecting 50 years. He's owned every brand under the sun, and he's telling you, and guess what? He lives with a dirt is rougher than mine. Amazing, right? Says that his Deus 2 trumps all. Take his word for it, not mine. 50. Tex has been doing this a long time. Found a lot of great relics. I've seen some of his Civil War stuff. Pretty good. Good advice. Instead of 1,000 hours in the field. Well, hey, dude, we just showed, hey, Lance, in 2 hours. So you could have spent 1,000 hours in the field. I just showed you in a 2-hour live stream the difference and the advantages. Very basic test that really, if you really dive deep, you know, Lance, as well as I do, and Tex knows, that when you start looking at those mid to low conductors being unmasking iron, we're talking Civil War relics. We're talking gold coins. We're talking, not to mention that these higher frequency detectors on the beach are hitting gold and small gold at depths that we have never seen before in the metal detecting world. So it's just something to keep in mind. But since Tex Kinsey has been metal detecting since before I was born, and he's telling you the Deus 2 that he has trumps all metal detectors he's ever had. Well, you know what? The Deus 2 ergonomics is something to contend with too. It weighs 2 pounds, and that's something to keep in mind. But the performance, Stinky got something on there. I don't know what happened. But guys, I'm gonna get off of here. I hope that this has been an enlightening live stream. I hope you guys have learned something. I've laid it out there. If you disagree, we can agree to disagree on these types of tests. But for me, if you fact check my videos over the last 10 years, just under 10 years on YouTube, and you look at what I've showed in these tests and translated and how that stacks up to accuracy, I'm batting 1,000, guys. And I'm not tooting my own horn. This just works. It works. It works, and it's how the manufacturers do it. And don't think that I don't ask them about this stuff. You know, yes, they do send it out into the field, and some things could show up in the field, but the parameters of the programs are changed in controlled environments. They don't change. An engineer does not change the parameter in a Legend and then, or a triple score, and then run out into the field and see what that parameter change did, chasing targets that he don't know what configuration they are under the coil. No, he changes the parameter on this in his little office, runs out there to his testing facility and see what it does in real live time. Then at the end of the day, when they think they got it right, they send it to people like me. I test it here, test it in the field, and provide feedback so everybody can have a better metal detector at the end of the day. When is Deus 3? That's a good question. Elliptical coil end of the year is what I was told. Let's see. Ah, yes, when clad didn't exist. Thanks. When is Deus 3? I don't know. Appreciate it, Tex. Yes, it is. But we've seen the Simplex Ultra do pretty good. But when you start putting, you know, just the versatility too of being able to hunt that saltwater beach is a big deal with these. Hey, I appreciate it. I appreciate it. And I appreciate it. And hello to my European fans over there. We just show a multi versus single. And if you go back and you look through this live, I know it's 2 hours, but there is a ton of info showing single frequency on high conductive coin, low conductive. We slide the targets in and out. We show the little tricks that some people like to use. And we show the difference in coil size and what it can do in unmasking tests. So there you go. Appreciate you guys watching. You guys have a great day. I am going to get out of here. And I hope that this video helps. And thanks for watching.